They glorified the demise of a non-life threatening man. What truth did Mr. Kevin Samuels speak that hurt so many emotions? Kevin Samuels brought a level of truth that many were not expecting or accepting. Should Kevin Samuels watch his tone with mean, arrogant, narcissistic women who feel like they were above their community? Are unapologetic men a threat to society? Why did so many women call into his platform? Now let's discuss.
Again, they call into his platform. If you call into his platform and you talking about there's no men out here, they're dirty, they dusty, then he start putting you in check with his facts. Like, nah, 50 to 60% of black men are single and childless. He'll tell him that majority of us live in the middle class and things like that. But I heard nothing but truth from him. Now, do I agree with everything that he said? No. But I can truly say I agree with at least 90 to 95%.
I hear that. So in the idea of not agreeing with everything he said, for a lot of women, and especially in the comment that you made earlier about challenging the idea of him not being misogynist, for a lot of women and even men too, the reason why they felt that Brother Samuels was misogynistic is because not only some of the commentary that he made regarding women and some of the circumstances, but also his tone and how he addressed them, and some of the tone, and some of the content that I watched wasn't necessarily always warranted. Now, Brandon, we talked about this offline. A number of the women that did engage with him, they did choose violence in their approach and words, and he definitely would give it back. But I also watched. I watched a couple of things. There were videos where I did see where he was more polite.
Right.
I like to be honest, and also just to be, he was a smart businessman. Like I know, for example, and there was no reason for him to approach her this way. When he did the live with Nicki Minaj, he was very mannerable.
Yeah.
I mean,
but honestly, but Khalil, that's how he is, man. He's very well soft spoken. He has high intellect. He communicates very well, and like I said, he gives out the energy that he receives. Now, the bad thing about nowadays is, like, for instance, me and you are about to talk for an hour 30 minutes. Imagine if somebody grabs 3 minutes of this show and then they use that clip to justify us. Like, that wouldn't be right.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, he always gives out the same energy that he receives. I mean, if you call into his platform and you're talking to him with respect, then he's gonna talk to you with respect. He's not gonna clown on you. But once you start disrespecting him and things like that, that's when he tries to put you in his place. You are on his platform, so you can't disrespect him. Can't nobody come on, feel some type of way and disrespect Khalil, the host. It's like, nah, we're gonna have to shut all that down. It don't work like that. And some women feel like they're above correction, and nobody's above correction, and nobody's above truth. And I'm trying to see, like, what did Kevin Samuels say to the point where his death is being glorified?
Well, I think, I do, again, I don't agree with that. I think for a lot of people, the way he delivered his message, for a lot of people, it rubbed them the wrong way. In which I even wanted to address that with you.
The tone police.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, one of the things I've said to you and other people I've talked to regarding brother Samuels and his tone. I don't disagree. His tone at times was disrespectful. But what I will say to that is this: in the black community, since when have we been so polite in reference to talking to each other on a regular basis? At a baseline, the way we address each other is is on average will be perceived as disrespectful. And so my challenge is this for the people who had issues with the way he addressed people, particularly women on his platform. I won't disagree with that, but my thing is that if we're going to be mindful about how we're critiquing somebody for how they address a certain population of
right.
people, then we need to make sure that we're doing that across the board. Because from what I've observed, that's not always the case. And so I don't want to see any bias. I don't want to see any bias by no means. And to that point, I have seen moments where it has been bias when it comes to perception of how men get addressed versus how women get addressed. And so
and vice versa.
And so I do think that is an overall. I think Brother Samuel's an example of this, but I think he is a, how can I say this? He is a symptom of a larger problem.
Thank you. And that's the thing, that larger problem is division. And don't get me wrong, Khalil, you'll catch a lot of women that call this man platform and give him a very arrogant, sassy, rude attitude. Like, for instance, quick question for you. Whenever you heard his tone, whenever you saw a clip and you didn't like his tone, did you see a clip or were you watching the show?
Clip.
And that's the